Welcome back, everyone. We are here between games. Little extra halftime segment we have here. All right, I got a little fun game. So we're gonna play Who's That Academy Player? Gonna bring up a little graphic here and bring in our two lovely casters, Cubby and Magical. I'm gonna have these two would-be storytellers tell us, ask us some questions, see who it might be.
Prod around and figure it out with you?
You have to. Yep.
Okay.
It's just a player in academy. That it's a pretty broad spectrum.
Has to
but
be
you know
yes or
you
no
got this.
questions, I assume.
Yep.
Okay.
Is it a top laner?
No.
Is it a bot laner?
Yes. Technically.
Okay. Is it a support?
It might be.
That's not a yes or
Yes.
no.
Yes? Okay. Well, we're getting closer.
Getting closer.
Okay.
All right, Matt Magical.
What
do you got next?
Have they played every game this split?
No.
Ooh. Well, you see, neither support that we have had in this first series has played every game this split.
Right. Right. That's why
That's
I'm curious.
In Academy, do they have a winning record or a losing record this year?
Winning record?
That's not a yes or no question.
I mean, hey, I'm. We've already spent enough time here. I need your guesses. This is.
It looks like Pobelter. That's all I'm
saying. Is it
saying.
Isles?
No, it is not. And all your guesses are all wrong. It's Busio.
Man.
Originally, I'm from Washington State, and I grew up there my entire life. I think I started playing the game in season 1 or 2 when I was maybe 7 or 8. I always cared a lot about my rank, even when I was younger. I always wanted to climb and get to diamond. My parents were always pretty respectful of like, when I'm in a rank game, I can't be distracted. And of course, they always would like allow me to play amateur games, even miss friends and family events for my amateur games. So that support system was pretty good. I originally chose mid lane, probably because of the champions that are there, like very mobile champs like Katarina, Yasuo, of course, is really good for 13-year-old me. But other champs such as the Blanc and even control mages like Syndra, Ori, and Cassio, Zoe, those types of champs were also really fun for me at the start just because of how mechanically intensive they were. On Polar Ace, I was surrounded by 4 team members that were obviously way better and more experienced than me. And definitely my biggest takeaway from Polar Ace was just to be confident and not really be nervous when playing in important matches, because especially in amateur, a lot of the matches, if you lose, you're out, especially in OQs or further down in playoffs. Most of it was single limb, some was double limb. And it was just important to play confident and play like you do in scrims. And I didn't necessarily do that all the time, so that's why I wasn't that successful on Polar Ace, but it was a good takeaway. What I like about League is definitely how many different champions there are, strategies, and how you can beat your opponent with that. Like, I like to get creative, different room pages, different play styles, different champions, and the most fun part about League is definitely just the depth that all of that brings. For the support role swap, Chris, Papa Smithy, came to me with the opportunity. And obviously it wasn't an instant, yeah, I want to swap. I like the role, I like the champions, and I just came off my Polar Ace split, so that was a good experience, and I wanted to keep playing mid. My opinion on supports were, they're old, they're there for macro, they're not really good mechanically or anything, and they just play engaged supports. But after learning about Carrier and seeing that support actually has a lot of unexplored depth to the role, like with the champions you can play, the room pages you can take, even just your role in the game, it can vary a lot, and I found a lot of interest in trying to explore that part of support that really hasn't been previously explored that much.
You know what's funny? I always talk about this whenever like I speak to Busio about like certain champion picks because I always remember him playing like an absolute psychopath when like we played in scrims. Like our scrims were always like FFs every single game, and he was always playing some freaky stuff. You know, like it was always the Senna X anything. You know, like that's the one thing we were like afraid of when we were scrimming like 100 X, like compared to other teams. It would be like Senna and any champion that exists in the entire roster. There was like a potential.
I'm Alan Busio Swalina, and I'm excited to play 100 Thieves next this upcoming season.
It felt pretty good to join 100 Thieves because previously on Polar Ace, of course, I looked up to 100 Next. And then once I was actually on it, I realized how many more resources there were with being able to talk to LCS and LCS Academy coaches and all their databases and pro scrims and pro views. It was really helpful to improve with that. And then, of course, the motivation that comes with how more accessible a promotion to Academy is once you're already within the 100 Thieves ecosystem. Yeah, it definitely felt bad to have to leave my team. So that was when our team was starting to finally come together, because previously 100 Next was not doing good at all. And I finally had hope, and it felt pretty bad to leave my team, and also I wanted to compete in that tournament. But in the long run, it's pretty good because now I'm on 100 Academy, so it was probably worth it, but felt bad short term. Yeah, it's pretty surreal to actually finally be here in person with the team because I knew it was coming for a long time, especially once I got signed to Academy. But it was so far away, I still have to graduate school. And now that I'm finally here, I'm just really happy that all I need to focus on is League and being the best I can. I don't have any other outside responsibilities. And now just being able to play as much solo queue, scrim as much as I can is really helpful. Previously, of course, being an amateur, I thought the Academy players were just gods. But now that I'm here, I realized Academy players are just amateur players with a little more experience, and that makes sense. I definitely want to be one of the top supports in Academy. I think it's pretty possible if I keep focusing on my weaknesses, because I definitely have some inconsistencies with my knowledge of matchups, but if I can keep 2v2ing and with the addition of Champions Queue, I can definitely get that done. And now that I'm here, I realized I just need to keep getting that experience up and getting my consistency down, and then I can keep progressing in my career.
Welcome back, everyone. We love to see it, and I love to hear a little bit from Busio and get to see that piece, Cubby.
Yeah, so sitting down and, kind of talking more with 100 Thieves and Busio, first off, I mean, I find it so impressive. Like, some of the things about this kid, there was a documentary made on him on YouTube by this channel called Axel, and it has 850,000 views about how this 15-year-old hit Challenger playing mid lane, being like a Katarina LeBlanc 2-trick. And seeing Busio go from that to playing an amateur, it's now playing with 100 Thieves, and hearing a lot about how his teammates talk about him too. I know we heard from Wixie, but even hearing from the Oregon, like Papa Smithy, I mean, this guy, they showed Busio's like gameplay to Mithy for like, they showed one of his games, and Papa Smithy was like, yeah, like a minute into it, Mithy just pinged me like, all right, this kid's gonna be good. Like, everything they see about like Busio's POV and his history about being high ELO solo queue, playing mid and now doing it as a support as well. Now, like, Mithy is spending a bunch of time with them 2v2ing. 100 Thieves are really invested in seeing Busio succeed, and the maturity on this 18-year-old is just incredible. And seeing him go from this 15-year-old solo queue player who's a challenger to now role swapping and being on 100 Thieves Academy for his first split, like less than 3 years later, it's a pretty cool story, and definitely a player that we really have our eyes on, and someone that we think can make a dent in LCS one day as well.
Absolutely. And we got to see like the big splash he made the first week he shows up, and then the consistent, level up, I guess, that we've seen in terms of communication for the team, having added him to the roster. I think it's always so crucial, and that's going to be crucial going into game 2, because that game 1, it was in the grasp but fumbled, and C9 picked it up and dunked it in. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous to see Malice and those Karthus ultis and just
that was fun.
Constant
that was fun.
Pressure. It's insanity.
Yeah. But we do have a second game And we're going to have to see what kind of adaptations 100 Thieves make. I know that immediately they are swapping over to red side, which means there's going to be less Malice bans. And I'm wondering if any of these teams are going to stop paying the Swedish tax, because we saw 3 champions taken away from Malice. That did not matter. So, like, when as a team do you say, all right, we just aren't going to take away Malice's champs. He's going to do what he's going to do, and we're going to go on from there. As, what do we have here, Mad Magical?
It's a guessing game.
It's a guessing game. All
ban
right.
Karthus?
Yeah, ban Karthus, please.
Okay.
I don't think that's it.
I had fun with that last
Oh,
game.
man. All right, fine.
I had fun with it, but I don't think 100 Thieves did.
So the question is, do you just, like, I mean, you said maybe less Malice bans going that way.
No,
but,
no,
or
no,
do you just
no,
ban
no.
5 Malice champions? And see
You're not
what
going to
comes
get
out
5.
next?
You're not going to get 5. You're going to get 3. You'll just take out, like, Udi or Karthus.
Well,
That's
then
it.
Zeri's
Yeah, hey, we'll see what
Oh, yeah.
happens, guys, as Champ Select is ready for our final game of the day. So take it away.
Thank you, Mazel. We'll see you after this game to wrap up everything, but we got to get through our final game of the day. You bring up a good point, because we are swapping sides. 100 Thieves now on the red side. Yeah, that's a hard question. Do you ban out 3 champions towards that jungle again and leave open Zeri, or you just ban Zeri and leave one of those strong picks for Malice still up?
So if you want to get crazy, you could play Tristan and Zeri. That is actually something we're starting to see a lot of LCK teams opt into. I still think Zeri is overtuned on this patch, but it is an option. And 100 Thieves on the red side, keep in mind last time they took away 3 Malice champions. That's already an adaptation coming out where they're going to take away the Caitlyn and leave up some of these options for Malice.
I think they're just going to go the exact opposite route. Say, you know what? Have everything. Here's everything you could possibly want. You got to choose now what you're going to play. And here we're just going to take the strong picks away. The Caitlyn, maybe even that Zeri. And you were talking about playing Tristana into Zeri. I don't know if we'd even see the Zeri in bot lane. It'd probably be for Darshan, because Darshan's played that top lane already.
That's true.
That's the one time we've seen it, is in the top lane.
That's
why
true.
you have to ban it.
And you know what? I think that we're just going to see Zeri in that same position we always see her, which is banned away on the first 3 on the red side. So still no Zeri. I have to say she is still overtuned, but yeah, when that's the approach, I mean, I've coached collegiate teams, right? And I've been in a situation where I've had to throw 3 bans at players like Bradley, who's not playing on Team Liquid. And if you're just gonna get beat by someone no matter what, sometimes you just have to let those champs through. And that seems to be the approach with Malice this game, because they threw 3 bans at him. They still lost, and I guess they just don't want to deal with the Evelyn Cheese, but they will have to now try and deal with a potential Udyr, Hecarim, or Karthus, but we'll see if C9 wants to blind Malice's champ here. There are a few other options on the table. I know Tryndamere has been pretty high priority for them, especially this week, and that is something that, with how C9 is able to play it and flex it, you can first pick it and move on, even though it's not that common. Instead, it is going to be the Gwen.
Yeah.
So now we open up the door for potential Enchantresses mid, and maybe the door for Malice to play something new, as he has yet to play the Gwen in the jungle.
I'd be surprised. I'm expecting that to be for Darshan, but you do have a point. There is still that option. The Cloud9 Academy could play something a little bit different. Even though Compy has played more things like Zed, we haven't really seen the enchanters from our Academy side of Cloud9. So I'll be curious to see what is going to be drafted, especially with Gamsu taking Jace into this top lane and possibly Wixie onto Jinx.
Okay, so we have 100 Thieves once again going for this identity of a potential poke comp, as the Thresh is taken away, but we still have seen Wixie Busio play this with the Braum. That Jace screams to me that you want to flex this Gwen into the jungle and try and get a good matchup there. Now, if it is the Karthus, that would not be solo AP, so I actually don't expect C9 to go for this.
There it is.
All right, never mind. It's gonna be, all right, it's going to be the Karthus. So at least this game, it means that 100 Thieves, like some of the issues of going against solo magic damage Karthus is you feel bad buying something like a Hex Drinker. Now that, Gamsu taking this Jace top is going into Gwen plus Karthus, you feel great buying a Hex Drinker. That's the most efficient item you can get in the game. So it is still going to be that Karthus, but I don't expect to see the Karthus hit as hard as last game because A, I don't know if that's possible, but B, it's going to feel better for 100 Thieves to put some more magic resist on their team.
Tryndamere is locked in for copy.
Wait.
Gives him a little bit of AD. I know you're waiting for it. It's being hovered. But
they can still send the Karthus bot. That's when things could get really crazy here for the side of C9.
You do have a point.
You can play it. You can play it into the Jinx. Now, you get somewhat outranged, but it is an option. Now, focusing on the options that we have in front of us, it is a Lee Sin lock-in. If we want to keep on the path of crazy, We could see Gamsu play Lee Sin in the Tryndamere, as it is a counter pick that Rascal's been going for quite a bit in the LCK. We don't expect that. This should be in the hands of Kenvi, as there isn't a marksman showing for C9. So it looks like marksman bans are going to be thrown out by 100 Thieves, but keep in mind, we could see that Karthus be moved bot potentially.
That's what I'm going to keep my eyes on. I'm
Something that C9's
on the other
teased
screen.
before, yeah.
It is. I'm looking on the other screen to see the last time we've actually seen King play something like Karthus. He played Ziggs a lot last year.
They
We saw that a lot in
Zed
Academy.
Tarek in a game of Academy, which was awesome. They played Tarek with 4 melees and a Zed bot, and it was really fun to watch. So
Yeah, they won that game too.
outlandish picks, you know, maybe, maybe not. But we'll see what the rest of the responses are. Rye's going to be taken away to help protect that Tryndamere in what we expect to be the mid lane, as that has been Copy opting for that pick. And we'll have to see if Jimmy has a counter, as they might save that last pick for Busio.
I think that we're going to have to keep our eyes on that, whether or not they want to save that, or if they want to just grab this mid laner here, that they can have something such as this LeBlanc. Victor still open. These are options that Jimmy can grab, try to be able to bully in this mid lane a little bit more.
It's all about that mid-jungle 2v2. Lee Sin, LeBlanc, combo that we've seen a bit. It's going to be up to Kenvi and Jimmy to try and snowball this game and get things out of control for C9. And there are going to be opportunities in the first clear if it does end up being this Karthus in the jungle. We are teasing that it could be flex bot.
I don't think so anymore.
Yeah. Oh, boy. If this is going to be something like a Twitch Recon. Oh, boy.
Oh my. Okay, the reason I was saying I don't think so is mostly because, as you had talked about, saving the counter pick for Busio in the bot lane. That's what made me think, you know what, they don't want to go for that.
See
They don't know what
Recon?
Busio's going to play anymore. They're not sure how this lane's going to be. But they grabbed Twitch for King. And I don't know whether this is hubris on the side of C9 or if this is just them that confident that they have everything they could possibly want.
So Twitch does outrange Jinx when you press R. And I think that's some of the theory, is that if you're able to ambush someone, you have a Karthus ult in your back pocket. Same theory as the last game. Copy becomes invincible in the side lane. And 100 Thieves, they're sticking to their guns, sticking to their playstyle. We've seen them play in Academy. We're going to have to see what Busio has as a response. The Ona is on the table, but it's actually going to be an Enchantress. I like Enchantresses into Rakan. And this silence has a lot of power against Cloud9, as if you're able to silence Tryndamere before he ults, he can go down. If you're able to silence Rakan while Rakan's engaging, you can't get the chain CC off, or maybe you can prevent a team from following up. So we'll have to see if Busio and Wixie have practiced out this 2v2 and can try and find an advantage in the bot lane, because that has been 100 Thieves' path to success. And the one weak point we've seen C9 have with this new roster is sometimes King and Isles, they have misplayed that early laning phase and gotten really far behind. Didn't see that in the last game, but something we are going to look out for, just given how good Wixie and Busio have been in the 2v2s.
And I don't know how far you go back exactly in League of Legends history, but when I see it as
Season 2.
Soraka versus... Okay, so you do remember this.
Yeah.
Soraka versus Karthus. Back in the day of the global ultimates, when
Oh,
those
the mid
were
lane
the...
meta?
Right, that
Oh,
reigned
no.
supreme the most. So I see this, and it just harkens back to that time. You have Karthus ult, and what do you do before the Karthus ult? You ult as Soraka every time. It was one of the classic counters towards Karthus to deny him getting those kills.
So as we dive into this game, something I'm going to be looking out for. I teased a lot of magic damage on the side of C9. Kings actually opted for Ignite on the Twitch. That tells me I don't think we're going to have the backdoor potential of a AP Twitch, but we have seen some of the terrors that AP Twitch can throw. I know that they've had some changes, but as long as we're getting outlandish with a couple of the potential flexes and talk around that, we got to bring up all angles, all opportunities.
Hey, look, I'm someone who likes to play AP Twitch myself, so I understand that. Usually, you don't tend to see it in the bot lane. Usually, it's more of like a jungle kind of thing.
That's all right. But emanating word from our wonderful production staff, we do have a pause in the game real quick by 100 Thieves, so it might be a little bit longer until we dive into this game. So I think it's a good time to bring up what happened in the last game. 100 Thieves went for a very strong early game composition, and Malice was the one that was ending up making plays. And Malice was the one who ended up pretty much solo winning the game for C9. Now, the rest of the team played well, but when you press R on Karthus and get 2 kills with an Elder Dragon, I'm going to give you a lot of credit in the role that you played when you helped your team win the game. So
Okay, Malice deserves a lot of that, though. Not
Oh, yeah.
just from the late game. It was the early game, too.
Yes.
I was surprised how early he looked for those plays, the ganks
Mhm.
that he was able to get. Like I said, 7.5 minutes into the game, he was already 3-0 as Karthus.
And props to Malice because I think that a lot of people, it's easy to kind of, say, oh, he's just a herbivore. Like, he doesn't play jungle the way that we've seen jungle played historically.
Not that game.
The plays he made were freebies. I mean, that gank onto Graves top, Gamsu was not respecting that Malice would be there, not respecting that Malice would look for him instead of the crab. The gank bot, that was a good opportunity for Malice. He helped his bot lane recover. Also got 2 waves for himself that he was able to crash in the turret. And even better, when that wave bounced, he came back bot to attack it again because 100 Thieves bot lane was missing summoners. So that was a really, really good game from Malice. One of the better ones I've seen out of him with his time in Academy. And he dominated the game. So I want to see if 100 Thieves have adaptations this game because the draft they have to make plays early. I want to see them go for skirmishes. And I want to see if they can make plays instead of Malice being the one that's dictating the map on a Karthus.
Well, I look at what 100 Thieves have drafted in this game, and I feel like they have those tools. Not only the Jace in the top lane, but the Lee Sin for Kenvi. A lot more power in those early skirmishes, looking for these fights potentially into Malice to try to deny any early plays he can make.
And, for fans that may not have been following Academy last year, we can't emphasize enough how hyped a prospect Kenvi is. He was one of, if not the best player that we had in Academy. The 100 Thieves Academy roster, they took second, only drop on Academy playoffs, dropping to Team Liquid. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see Tenacity and Kenvi play in Proving Grounds because they traveled with 100 Thieves to go to Worlds.
Yep.
And Kenvi was someone who, in the offseason, he wanted to make sure that, he was set up for success moving forward. He didn't want to go to an org, a LCS team, unless it was a top 5 org. He's on 100 Thieves Academy again. He's been having an okay early season. It hasn't been the same dominance that we've seen with Kenvi, but of course he does have some new teammates that he's been getting used to as well. But this is some of the best players that we have to offer when it comes to Academy. And the fashion that C9 were able to take them down last game, I think that C9 really starting to push themselves in the forefront of this is one of the top teams that we have in this league. They're currently sitting 3rd in the standings, and ever since they got Malice and this full roster in with Darshan and Isles, they've been 10-3 as a squad, which is, that's including the 0-2 they had against Golden Guardians, which was ugly. So ever since then, we've seen a different team emerge. No one's been able to deal with these guys, and it's really just up to the league to see who can stop C9.
No one's been able to deal with them.
They dropped one game to the Zillion mid, which was a great counter from Immortals. They got purified by, their own strats.
That's what I was about to say. The thing is, they are susceptible. There are ways to be able to punish them. We've seen that they aren't infallible in their gameplay, that they can drop these games if you, especially discounting, the first 0-2. There's a reason why we do that, just because it was rough for them. New team, having members that come from all over the world, playing from jet lag. It was a tough series, but also props to Golden Guardians for playing that one well.
Yeah.
Then the rest of the time, Cloud9 have been very dominant. Even in that victory that Immortals got over them, it wasn't like it was just a simple win for Immortals. They had to do a lot in order to get themselves into that spot.
Good game.
It was.
Yeah, and I think that those are the 2 matchups that we're really looking for when it comes to C9 in the future, as the 2 teams that are above them in the standings are COG and Golden Guardians, the 2 teams that have the most experience on their roster. As, of course, this Academy, we're waiting for a lot of the rookies to continue to develop. But 100 Thieves are sitting in 4th. They're in the position below C9. I know that we don't love to harp on standings as much. We'd rather focus on kind of the developmental arcs of these players and how the teams are improving and trying to posture themselves to have players potentially move to LCS as they move throughout their career. But there's still a reason behind the standings. And I think the reasoning behind C9's success has been their solo lanes are adapting to playing around Malice, and if you are able to navigate out of the first 2 jungle clears without being attacked, C9 are drafting comps where they can win 70% of games from there. And they've been winning more than 70% of games from there with some of the leads and plays they've been able to make. So it's been fun watching C9, take this different approach, take their own approach, bring it into this league. And I'm interested to see how the teams adapt, because it feels like 100 Thieves, they didn't adapt their draft in game 1. The draft in game 2, yes, Soraka's a different flavor, but it's not like they're straying significantly from the strats they're used to running. So I'm wondering, when these teams start to look at what C9's doing and be like, we have to incorporate more of that into our gameplay. We've seen that from Immortals Academy, but we haven't seen that a ton from the rest of the teams in the league.
True.
And I think that C9, or if they keep on having success like this in NA, they could end up shaping the meta as a whole.
Curious to see how that's going to play out for everyone. All other teams, if they learn from C9 or not, as we load up for our final game here on the second stream. It is our 1-0 lead at the moment for Cloud9 Academy. 10-1 in their last 11 games. They would like to make sure that they continue that domination. It is up against 100 Thieves, another team vying for a top spot in Academy.
Okay, Jimin getting that ward down on the blue buff. That will go undetected.
I don't even think they spotted him.
As now King, maybe looking onto Kenvi.
Trying to invade themselves, get a little bit of vision. Malice is going to face check right onto Jimmy and Kenvi, but not going to connect the Sonic Wave as Isles. Right on the flank, Grand Entrance gets the flash out of Kenvi. An early level 1 play from Cloud9 nets them a summoner.
Well done, and a nice use of the Twitch as well. The Q going invis helped give C9 some bonus scouting to set up that cute level 1. Nets the flash out of Kenvi, which is very important because this game, you have to attack the Karthus before he gets off the ground. Kenvi now not having that flash to playmake on this Lee Sin, that's going to hurt their early game even more.
Right now, Wixie and Busio were set up to look for Isles and King, but since they went right through the lane, there won't be that play. They have to just go towards the minions, clear them out as best they can.
And Kenvi, I want to see what he ends up doing first. And this is the adaptation from 100 Thieves. So this will not be spotted by Malice yet, but Kenvi going to get up in the face of Malice and try and take away his red buff for Kenvi's second camp. Now, there is a trinket ward on Raptors for C9. And so if Lee Sin's going for something like a full clear, that ends up wrapping up a little bit after when Malice is going to cross over to his Raptors. So once Kenvi doesn't show on that trinket then, that's when C9 is going to start to expect something. But Kenvi should be able to get this for free, and I think he's just going to cruise on out, be happy with what he's gained.
Just get a triple buff over Malice. Best he can do to delay the Karthus at the moment, like you said, without a flash. It is risky to play up forward, but with every single lane, getting a bit of a win, pushing in pretty hard onto Cloud9, I almost expected to see Kenvi look for something.
And I always like when you could take camps away from Karthus, because part of the power of Karthus is that you can full clear and be at Crab before 3:15. So now Karthus has this awkward spot where he's not doing a camp, he's waiting for the Crab, and yes, he's level 3. Karthus does have some power to gank level 3, but you're still kind of looking to funnel yourself and get yourself to level 6. So we're going to see how Malice responds. Right now, it looks like he's actually cruising up towards Kenvi's top side, and he might look to get a bigger counter jungle off on his own. He's working towards that top Crab, and we'll see if he checks the top side jungle with Kenvi after.
It's risky, though. Look at top and mid right now.
It's not if Kenvi doesn't respond.
Well, Kenvi could easily show up there and try to punish them.
Yeah.
They do spot him, but Gomstu at the moment still playing far up, and this happened last game. Did you not learn your lesson from the previous game?
Ooh.
You missed the shock blast, but Malice has got a lot of damage. Flash away, Gomstu survives.
All right, so at least the cooldown bled out, and Malice makes use of that time where his camps are down very well. Kenvi will now move up to the top side, trying to protect his jungle. Gomsu actually stopped the base of Malice.
Good.
Now Kenvi doesn't have flash, but might be looking to attack on this top side, and that will net the flash out of Malice. So good pickup from 100 Thieves.
That was a good pickup. Kenvi reading that one, getting the call from Gomstu to go top lane, get the flash. Now this gives that control that we were talking about. Lee Sin over Karthus, even if it's a level lead for the Karthus at the moment. Lee Sin just wants to bully. He wants to find these early plays over Karthus, because as the game continues to scale up, Karthus just gets scarier and scarier.
And that does ensure the next time that Kenvi is able to find Malice, it will be a flashless Karthus, and Kenvi might have his backup by then. So this does open up more windows for plays. Something that 100 Thieves was desperately looking for in the last game and we're not able to find. At least now that's a place they can try and attack.
But it will be a matter of time. We just have to wait for that play from Kenvi. Only, what, I'd say like 25 seconds until that flash is back up available for him. No punish from the side of Cloud9. Really couldn't with how Kenvi had path there to deny the red buff from Malice. As you said, made it an awkward clear path for Karthus, where he had to burn a lot of time just to rotate around the map.
Yeah, he was still able to get something out of it, and now Karthus is in the comfort zone, where he's on a second clear, should be able to cruise through these camps, and the second camp's very important for any jungler looking for 6, because they provide a lot more experience on the second spawn. So The fact that Malice is getting all these safely, Kenvi has yet to reset. Karthus is still going to be ahead of the curve, and it's going to narrow the gap where Kenvi can try and find Malice, try and maybe get that 1v1 or set this Karthus further behind.
At the moment, waiting it out. With each lane having an ebb and flow, top lane, Gomsu still getting a good push back onto Darshan. Mid lane, Jimmian over Copy. Bot lane, Wixie Busio. They got a nice little recall off to be able to buy some Berserker's Greaves for Wixie. As King and Isles, they're still struggling to be able to bully around a Jinx Soraka lane. With the enchanters that you talked about, how difficult it is to really do anything in the lane phase against them.
I see Busio getting a nice cancel on King. That's going to set him behind, maybe force him to lose a wave. We'll see if he commits to that cancel. And while that's all going on, we might see King take the reset for sure, because Isles on the top side, they're looking to punish Gomsu being down a flash. Now, Kenvi's the rotating, but I think he's rotating for the crab. Gomsu doesn't know that Isles is here. Darshan has ult. If he connects us though, this could be bad.
That's going to be the needlework coming out. Isles is right behind him, waiting, but Kenvi's nearby. The Scuttle Crab has been taken, but Gomsu's life is at risk. He's got to be careful. He's got some honey fruit, but he's slowed down in first blood for Darshan, with Kenvi going back in and flashing away from the 3 members of Cloud9. Here comes Copy. He's got ult, but look at Jimmian. He's got the kill on the other side onto Malice. Malice is out of the equation, but now they got to deal with Copy on top of Kenvi. Grand entrance knockup coming in from Isles, and Kenvi is down.
And 100 Thieves just not on the same page in the initial play. Now, can they get the post play? Copy still has ult.
Wixie's here, looking for that slow, looking for the grenades, didn't connect onto anybody. So they have to let the members of Cloud9 go, but they could rotate around to get a little bit more control over that Ocean Dragon.
Oh, okay, that's the attempt from Busio with the silence. Copy doesn't go low enough to not be able to cast the ult, as Jimmian not quite able to pick that one up. And Copy should be able to pick up this wave, okay. Jimmian doesn't go for the trade to bleed out the ult. And it's a good play from C9, and it's textbook again, as Gomsu loses that flash. When that wave is bouncing back, they send extra members up, get Gomsu caught overextended, and Kenvi just wasn't able to help out in time, as they were kind of going for 2 plays at once because of what C9 was able to force.
Yeah, and you can even see this, where they're split up. Gomsu, I think it was a good slow that came in from Cloud9, hitting the honey fruit so that he wasn't going to escape. And even if Malice goes down, he'll trade that any day for the 2 kills you're able to pick up.
Yeah, and also get to see, I know that Malice is the import we're talking a lot about, but Jimmian, also an import, he was runner-up in PCS MVP standings, lost to Doggo. And his best champion from when I was watching all of his PCS VODs, it was LeBlanc. So fun to see him here. Now, as we get back to live, Malice, he's in trouble.
Not that much mana. He is dead. Get kicked away, and the kill goes over Soda to Kenvi. But he's got to be careful. He had to smite down the red buff to make sure that it wasn't going to be picked up by Malice. And now over the wall with the Sonic Wave. Got to get towards Jimmian, but Copy's going to take him down. Now he's got double buffs to fight back against Jimmian.
Busio's rotating.
Still has Undying Rage if necessary. Has to be careful, though, because like you said, Busio is rotating, looking for the silence. Here comes the rocket, going to be body blocked and getting a lot of damage, but no kill.
Copy holding strong on the trigger while this is going on to Darshan. So on the back half of that skirmish, he has the red buff, and he's forced Gomsu out of the top lane. So Gomsu has to base and TP back, whereas Copy, he's going to jump on Jimmian.
Copy popping that Undying Rage. Jimmian dodging away from the grand entrance, and here comes Mimic passive. Waiting it out. Even though Isles had a good target selection, Jimmian still jumps back in to take down Copy. No Undying Rage anymore. 1v2, forcing Malice to have to pay attention. The flash away, the heal that came in from the Wish. Jimmian over the wall at the door station. And look at Jimmian. He escapes.
Dude, Jimmian's LeBlanc is so good. This guy's movement gets him out of that play. He makes it happen. This is what 100 Thieves needed to do. And now Malice, he's trying to push this wave in, but he might be in trouble.
He's in a lot of trouble to jump in. Jimmian's fine. They've got the killing spree for this PCS mid laner.
Oh, Jimmian, he's really starting to come into his own over in North America. And a beautiful play for Jimmian onto the LeBlanc. That's exactly what 100 Thieves needed, as he now has 3 kills. He was also able to survive Malice's ultimate that occurred. As you can see, Jimmian very low as he goes back to base. And this will be Rift Herald for 100 Thieves. They have a lead. They can play make with his Lee Sin LeBlanc. They're off to the races, and it's all thanks to this outplay from Jimmian.
This is an insane outplay, too. Not only outlasts the Undying Rage, but dodging away from the engage from Isles.
The patience as well, as just waiting for his cooldowns to come back, then the sweet feet here, and watch this movement on this play. The ult from Busio's clutch, but look at him. Dodges out on the Skittle, dodges out on the W from Isles, able to get over the wall in time. Then we keep on going through the play. Kenvi gets here, is able to make sure that he sidesteps the Skittles once again from Malice. Able to sneak out with barely enough HP. Survived thanks to the red buff when it comes to the Karth Assault. Now, as we return to live, C9 did return to that Dragon, and we're able to pick that up. But 100 Thieves, before we went on that replay, they picked up that Rift Herald. So I think that given 100 Thieves' composition, they want to knock down these turrets. They want to try and get up in the face of Malice, take away those camps early. So 100 Thieves, much better game state for them in this game too, as keep in mind, they're trying to play quickly.
Well, that's the whole point. They have to play this game very fast and loose. They cannot let Cloud9 scale like they did last time. They've put Malice in the hole, made it a little bit more difficult for the Skarthus. But Kenvi hanging out in this mid lane to try to help out Jimmy and even getting that damage, forcing out the ult immediately from Copy to survive. They can even pop the Rift Herald here and crack this tier 1.
Creative angle from Kenvi as he was just hiding in the fog. He does throw down the Rift Herald before we go back to bot. Also, so I know we've focused a little bit on Gamsu in the top lane. He's been attacked early by Isles. This has actually opened up quite the lead for 100 Thieves bot lane as on their own, Wixie has been able to secure 2 plates, looking for a third going into the Twitch. Now, Twitch is someone that scales. We have to pause.
You can't fight against an LeBlanc and Lee Sin combo. Even the Wish. This is what I talked about, Cubby.
Busio from downtown helping his teammates. The ambulance, it's not needed in your lane, man. It's an E-ambulance now. That all, it's been upgraded. Now, Copy, he's going to look for Jimmy in.
That's a ghost. Distortion away, but they got the chains connected. And here's Kenvi to save the day. Taking down Copy.
Kenvi takes down his old teammate from 100 Thieves next. C9 somewhat reeling on the map. Darshan now looking for a return to the top side. Gamsu's in trouble.
Gotta be careful. Jumps back in. Damage on both sides. Needlework can come out. Really chunking out. Gamsu has to flash away to survive.
Gamsu tried to keep that flash. Wasn't able to get it. Good play by Darshan to get something back. That wave is also frozen on Gamsu, who doesn't have access to TP. So Gamsu still struggling in this one, but at least 100 Thieves, they have a big lead. This is 3K gold. They've been able to attack Malice, and I know we were talking about banning the Karthus, but there's always that other option where you can try a different strat that you believe you can beat this early game jungler, or I should say scaling jungler with in the early game. And 100 Thieves taking that early game jungler, Kenvi and Jimmy and man, they've been able to play make like it's no one's business this game, and have given 100 Thieves a good chance to try and keep on snowballing this one.
This is a duo we are used to seeing succeed for 100 Thieves Academy. When there's been a lot of wins for the side of 100 Thieves, NB and Jimmy moving around the map as a duo to help each other out. Make plays for Gamsu, make plays for Wixie and Busio. This is something that is tried and true.
And it's something that 100 Thieves need to continue to do in this game. As, yes, it is a 2.5K gold lead, but we've seen what this Karthus can do as the game goes on. Now, Malice has been put very far behind. 0-4, no Ludens yet. That's a big deal not having Mythic as a jungler at 13. Kenvi has his. And you can see how much C9 are paying attention to Malice now in the jungle.
Yep.
And it's also bled into the lanes as Copy's been put pretty far behind as Kenvi.
Force to ult again, the kick away from the turret. Even if Malice is nearby, he doesn't have Requiem. It's too early into the game. The cooldown's just not there. Rocket. Bada, 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 boom!
Oh, no. Oh, that's so tragic as Wixie finds the snipe. That's first brick dropping before 14. C9's bot lane looking to respond as Wixie doesn't have ult, but King, level 9, doesn't feel comfortable walking up, and Busio has 2 levels on Isles. So that Raka, that is something where, you know, levels really helps Soraka, able to pick up more health throughout landing those Qs. And you can see the game plan for C9, because it was broken early by 100 Thieves, they're not on cruise control anymore. They're really being forced and pushed to the limits by 100 Thieves, just throwing everything at them in the early game.
This is that classic counter I talked about with Karthus. Yeah, anytime you see Requiem come out, wish. It doesn't.
Oh,
no, you don't even kill him. You just wished from Busio, and then no kill anymore.
Malice. So even with Malice being 0-4, he is still up a level, as he has been sticking to his camps. Kenvi did just match that, picking this up. The thing I'm more concerned about is that Copy's down 2. And Tryndamere against...
Without a turret.
Yeah, and he's dead.
And Copy is just dead.
Yeah.
Yep, there he goes.
Okay. Flash is burned by Kenvi there, but Copy, this Tryndamere can't be invincible in the side lanes, as that lead in the jungle that Malice has, it's nice, but it's a bigger lead for Jimmy, and he's able to get around the map. Is now King going for a play top. It's a Bork rush.
He's probably just going to kill Gamsu before
just one-shot
Darshan
him.
can even
Oh
help
my
him.
God.
He's got enough damage with that fork. And the fact that Gamsu's been put pretty far behind, wasn't able to fight, but that's a lot of attention. Focus onto the top lane. Look at what Cloud9 are now having to defend in this mid lane. The tier 2 turret, only 15 minutes into the game, probably going to topple because there's not enough mana for Malice to be able to clear out these minions. And now him and Isles both have the back, but ooh, that was a clutch heal that barely kept him
TP,
alive.
Wixie's in
To
trouble.
re-engage now. Here's Darshan right onto the traps though. They got the flash in, coming in from Isles.
Big
Knocked
ult.
back away, but that's a lot of damage onto Wixie with the Requiem only tickling the members of 100 Thieves. They're all going to be able to escape this one unless they want to re-engage. They got to be careful. Jimmy, he might have enough
Jimmy.
damage, but Darshan's got a lot as well. When he has Snip on his side, he dumps back in, but he's immune. All waiting it out because here's a
TP,
TP behind.
Gamsu.
Gamsu now finally going to be able to show his face into one of these fights with how far Cloud9 are out.
Oh,
they have
nice.
to flash away to be able to escape, but Darshan now with the chains on top of him. Gamsu gets his revenge against Darshan at the top lane as Jimmy continues to press forward. There's King, there's Malice on the other side, getting a lot of damage onto Busio, focusing down the support, so there's not going to be the heal that they need to be able to survive this fight, but Malice now getting caught by Jimmy. The chains connecting. Jimmy could easily pop him if he wants to jump right back in, but he's going to let him escape at the moment. Waiting it out. There's the distortion forward. There's the Q. Not enough damage, though.
Didn't have that chain back off cooldown. The play ends with 100 Thieves taking this dragon on the back half, but I think importantly for C9, that we're able to fight back and get a couple shutdowns. So I know they're dropping the neutral. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just a Cloud Dragon. It's 1-1 across the board. The important part is that are they able to buy time for Copy to get resources? Because right now, with where the lanes are at, Copy didn't get any farm throughout that series of events. And he is still really far behind in levels. He's never going to be able to contest Jimmy at this point. And we can see 100 Thieves still trying to push the pace with Jimmy.
They can kill him before he can even have his ult back up. Jimmy is still really deep with the kick onto Isles. He might have gotten the kill back, but Malice dies as a result.
Kenvi and Jimmy, man, there's no slowing down this mid-jungle duo as they're looking at C9's jungle and saying, we took your 2 mid-lane turrets. This real estate is now ours, and they get C9 out of there. They're able to take camps. This is what I was talking about going into these junglers for Malice. If you are able to start taking away camps from him, you just get to accelerate yourself so far ahead. This is kind of the bridge that C9 are playing on as the seesaw, because if they lose the early game too hard, you lose access to those camps, and all that scaling you were able to do in the jungle ends up falling off. We're seeing Kenvi continue to pressure, continue to get up in the face of Malice, and it's what's keeping 100 Thieves ahead in this game. Is it's now a 5k gold lead, and Kenvi, he's finally got to pull himself back on this one. Oh, maybe still looking for King.
No, he's looking for King.
Oh, okay,
If he
he's
had walked
fishing.
forward, he would have been able to get that kill. Now he just backed out of that one. King pushing forward.
I will say Bork Rush on Twitch. We did see Boy to the Ruin King get a little bit more percent health on each auto. This is obviously the old school matchup we saw, as I must pause because Malice is dead.
Oh, Malice, you're getting the treatment that you had dealt to 100 Thieves this game. Jimian dodging away from some of the Skittles, but here is now the members of
ambulance.
Cloud9 wrapping around. The ambulance keeps Jimian going okay.
Uh-oh, on the flip side, Gamsu, he's in trouble.
Side Gamsu, he's been in a lot of trouble this game. Knocks back, Copy. Isles could have chased, but they just don't have enough damage at the moment.
Able to get out with Phase Rush. That's going to help. As credit to Gamsu. I know he's been attacked a lot this game. Honestly, 1, 2, and 1. Him spotting 2 members of C9, it allows Kenvi and Jimmy to keep on playing this aggressively. And it has helped 100 Thieves be able to push their lead elsewhere. As we now see Kenvi and Busio synced up. They're trying to buy some space and take the second Rift Herald. If they're able to use this, so they can try and utilize this maybe to pressure a Baron or a Dragon, but there's only 2 more inners that they can take, and the sieging inhibitors at this point, I think it's still a little bit early in the game for 100 Thieves to be doing that.
Yeah, but the thing is, they do have to continue to press this advantage for every stage of the game. Remember, this is why we talked about Malice on this Karthus. The scaling possibility they still have, even if he's 0-6. He's still only a level down to Kenvi, who's 5-2. He has been farming like a maniac to make sure that he can keep up against this Lee Sin. Plus, you have to worry about Darshan. You have to worry about King. You have to worry about Copy. All these champions do well as the game scales.
They do, but the issue is that Copy is like out of the game. He is 2-5-1, and I think Gamsu and Jimian can each deal with him in the side lane. As we move into the later stages of the game, we do now have Baron about to come out on the Rift. You can see 100 Thieves already grouped up, trying to start to take advantage over this topside jungle. And Malice is able to pick up the Gromp, but will be forced out. And that top outer is going to fall to 100 Thieves.
There's no way they can defend it. Malice just doesn't have the damage to really bring that bang to the members of 100 Thieves. And you talked about this in Champions League, Cubby. All of Mount Mortius has been completed for Kenvi. Soon, probably expecting that for Gamsu as well. They feel more empowered to build that Hex Drinker because they know where the damage comes from a C9. Right there, the flash in. Jimmy tried to distortion back, but he's in a bad spot, has to flash over the wall. Here's a Requiem. The shield might be there from Kenvi to keep him alive. They even had Wish in the back pocket.
Dude, Jimmy's LeBlanc is so nutty. We haven't been seeing a lot of LeBlanc picked. And the fact that 100 Thieves, their game plan in the next game was just like, all right, we're going to get our mid laner LeBlanc and our jungler Lee Sin, and we're just going to like blast the map open at 10 minutes. Like, that is a risky strategy to run. But God, Kenvi, with their hands, with their mechanics, have been able to pull it off rather well. And Jimmy just drew 3 members, got 2 flashes out of C9 with that play in the top side for his own.
That's pretty nuts, to be honest.
take
And
that.
only burning 1 flash too. That's great.
You can see Darshan is going to TP out. Meanwhile, I want to look bot lane because King's here.
Okay. King's here with copy. Hoping that they can get this pick onto Gamsu, but that's a lot of damage coming in, and he's going to trade it 1 for 1.
Okay, so King, this is one of the nice parts you can do with Twitch when your map gets narrowed, is that Twitch is really good at ambushing in side lanes. Of course, can go invis, a lot of upfront damage to Twitch's kit. I like how King's been hovering and trying to attack each side and aid Darshan and Copy getting back into this game. That trade's going to help Copy quite a bit, catch up in levels, as he is still down 2, but should be able to knock down this bot in tower for himself. Whereas 100 Thieves trading that for this top inner, and Jimmy continues to get propelled further into this game as it's still the map for 100 Thieves.
As this jungle gets smaller and smaller for Malice as well, making it more difficult for them to contest around these dragons. They might have gotten the first one of the game, but 2 now in the inventory of 100 Thieves. Most of the map has gotten in a much better spot. Even if they lost that tier 1 in trade, that is a big plus for all the members of 100 Thieves, getting the 2 turrets topside and even getting the dragon there with this play attempted by Jimmy. And Jimmy is just playing with them. He is messing with them with these distortions.
Karthus can't stop LeBlanc, right? Unless you're like insanely far ahead where you can just press R.
Like last game.
Yeah, like last game. We did see that. But keep in mind, it's not solo magic damage. And that Maw already for Kenvi, we see a null magic mantle in the inventory of Gamsu that should be turned into a Hex Drinker rather quickly. He has to be careful because he's the one that's smashing Copy in the side lanes at the moment. But could also be, I mean, even Wixie, if you get really far ahead on 100 Thieves, you could opt for it early. Now, there are still some comeback mechanics for C9. I think it's important to note. King has that Gale Force completed. And Kenvi is hunting for his old teammate, but Copy is able to Beyblade out of that one. You teased it, Darshan, Copy. There will be problems in the side lane as the game goes on, especially Darshan, who has not been taken out of the game. But I think the key for 100 Thieves is just keep on making plays with Jimmy. Keep on making sure that he is supported whenever he's going to distort in, because he is the one with all the gold. He is the one with all the power in his back pockets, and he is the menace that C9 are going to have trouble dealing with.
And until they can deal with them, they just have to wait their time. They have to bait it out as best as possible. Even look where the gold is, and not really anybody has a lead except for Isles over Busio, and that's a support over support. That essentially is null and void.
And I know Busio at 0-1. I feel like that is like the true ambulance scoreline, right? Like, I'm just here for support. I'll chip in for this one when you need me, but the rest of the team's got this.
I'm here to make sure you don't die.
Yeah.
That's my job. Getting the kills doesn't matter. As long as you don't die, I've done my job.
As long as Malice, presses R and I press R in return, I've done my job. That's where we're at.
All right. Cops are starting to do a little bit more damage now. He's 2 and 3. Gotten the kill earlier. Copy.
Oh,
struggling
heads
to
up.
be able to deal with them. You see the zap. That's going to be a rocket forcing out Undying Rage. King is invisible. There's the poison. Here's the
Nice
Requiem. Kenvi. Hey, he's got to be careful, but there's Jimmy on the side looking for the flank angle if he needs to get into the back line. But King clearing out the minions the best he can. Got to be careful. The poke comes in. There's Jimmy, but now he has to jump back over the wall so they can take the turret.
It does at least get the turret. That was a really nice kick by Kenvi to prevent any potential engage from C9, as that was a setup where Twitch could have gotten off and could have wiped them in a team fight. And even at a 5k gold deficit, we can still see the power of C9's comp as we do get into the later stages of the game. And I think it's going to start to pressure 100 Thieves to try and posture around this Baron. Now, why are they nervous starting Baron? it's a magic damage debuff, which means that Malice and Darshan are going to be doing a bunch more damage. And the only member of 100 Thieves comp that's really good at taking Baron is Wixie on this Jinx.
Yeah.
So Soraka can't keep members topped off, but if she gets low, then she gets really vulnerable against Karthus. I think that 100 Thieves are just waiting for these dragons and trying to make sure they keep control over the jungle so they can go for plays like this.
Poppy doesn't have ult. Jimmy
he's
knows that. He's just chasing him down. Auto Q.
Yeah.
There it is.
Bummer of a flash from Copy too. We'll like that cooldown back. Unfortunately, gonna take 5 minutes to get that one, and that's all 100 Thieves needs to open up this Baron. Said that this is something that they needed to do to make sure that they can break open the map and siege on the inhibitor turrets of C9. And C9, they can't even respond. Look at the poke from Gamsu.
Also, watch Jimmy. He might be far at the
Oh.
moment, but he has
Oh,
that
wait,
angle.
Jimmy's a
He's
big
got the
flank.
flank,
That's a
and
big flank.
Darshan's dead already. They've got a little bit of damage on the
King.
King and Malice as well, but Jimmy, he is focused. He knows who the target is. Malice, you're gone. You might have gotten a little bit of damage, but they're gifting it over to Gamsu all the while. It is almost an ace. Only Isle survives.
And Jimmy is just going after Malice like, this is for last game, man. The Karthus hurt, so I'm going to deliver the pain onto the Karthus for this one. 100 Thieves. So when we saw that Lee Sin LeBlanc locked in, I know that this is something that 100 Thieves were really excited about, bringing over Jimmy in, having the runner-up in the PCS MVP count, and combining that with Kenvi, the top jungle prospect. This is what 100 Thieves was hoping for in their Academy season. Having their mid-jungle destroy everyone else in Academy. We haven't seen a ton of that this year, but man, is it good to see that in this game, as it has been Jimmy and Kenvi just running the Rift.
Right there, too. You talked about how it's difficult to do a Baron against Karthus. Well, it's not difficult to do
Not if
a
you can't
Baron
walk in
against
the pit.
Karthus if he can't walk in the pit. Exactly.
We're on the same page, man, Magical, as
Yep.
it has been a fun best of two. I know two what's looking to be somewhat one-sided games, but I think the answer to what C9's throwing at them now is fun, and Gamsu, he's in trouble. He's dead.
Here's Requiem. Might be able to kill him. Wish came out. Shut down over to King. Kenvi's inside the pit, but the dragon started to hurt him. Even with the Skittles on the other side of the wall, they got to wait for Wixie and Busio. That's a lot of damage. The flash coming in. The kick on to King. The dragon will help kick up the kill for Kenvi with the TP behind. Here's Darshan. Look at how low Busio is. He puts down a silence so they can jump onto Isles, but they got a lot of damage. Malice will be able to get the objective bounty. He took away the dragon. It's 2-2, but now Busio, he's in trouble. Here's Darshan getting a lot of damage with the needlework. Just one more snip, one more chop. There goes the banana.
That was kind of Giga Brain from Malice. Now Wixie, he's on a ward. He does not know it. C9 is also on the wrong side of the map. Kenvi has a full health bar and almost has that ult back off cooldown. Wonder if he goes something.
Darshan, that damage, the
Okay.
shutdown on a Wixie. 1v3, he's not afraid, especially when Kenvi dives back in. Jimmy and this duo between the two. 100 Thieves, they are against the world, but here comes the TP to help. Copy's
one.
gone, couldn't even ult, not available, but the gun bounce on to Kenvi. He dives into the backline, he's got the kill onto Isles. Darshan's the next target for the double kill with Gamsu chasing down Malice. There is no escape, there is no more salvation. It is going to be 100 Thieves taking this game.
I don't know if they can wrap this one up yet, Matt Magical. They have Baroned up creeps, but honestly, those C9 are still in a really tough position down 10k. That wasn't the worst thing in the world. They took away a lot of Barons. They also stole the Dragon. That buys themselves more time. And now Jimmy in. Luis is going to get pressured. Needs to burn the Wish. And now King's dead.
King is dead.
All right.
There's Kenvi. As I said before, Cubby, this is the game.
Darshan's up in 10. Copy's up in 5. It's another one where it's looking over. I get that, Matt Magical.
Yes,
but
that's what
the
I'm saying.
Nexus isn't dead yet.
Good point. Good point. But 11,000 between the two
inhibitors
teams.
are.
2 inhibitors are gone. A third one to follow soon. Copy can't really do much. The kick comes in from Kenvi, looks for Isles, forces them away. He's got a 2-level lead over the mid lane of Cloud9 Academy. Kenvi is huge. There's the final inhibitor, and this is the final fight. Malice is already gone. The re-engage comes in from Isles and Darshan, but they just don't have enough damage to take down Busio too quickly. Now they have to be careful. Even if the Banana King is gone, they have to be careful because here comes the damage from Wixie. Chasing down Isles and excited Jinx. Chases down Copy right back to the fountain. Here we go. It is another 1-1 game with Copy popping the ult to do the best he can to keep the game going with King, but it's not enough. Even if you dove back in, you still died with Jimmy and barely alive. He dives back in. A double kill to end it for Kenvi.
2-12 for Kenvi. I know after game 1, fans might have been like, is Kenvi really a top jungle prospect in NA? Yeah, he is. Game 2, I think, answered that pretty soundly, and good to see 100 Thieves bouncing back after that game 1 loss, because it can be kind of depressing dying to a Karthusar plus Elder Dragon and then letting the Karthus through again. But hey, props to the 100 Thieves. They said, if Malice takes this, we're going to take Whis in the block. We have a plan. This is what we think we can win with. They did it, and they executed upon it. And that is one way that you can beat what C9's throwing at a lot of teams. It's junglers that full clear. If you are able to make something happen before the jungler is wrapped up with their second clear, you can try and break the game and run from there. And I think that 100 Thieves, off the back of Jimmy and Kenvi's play, were able to break that game. We're able to break C9 and hand them just their 4th loss with Malice and 2nd loss since that, day 1 jet lag scenario.
Also, unsung hero for me is Busio. The Soraka, all those wishes to deny. The wishes denied all the kills pretty much that could have been gathered early by Malice.
You know what? I guess if we're crediting Malice so much for pressing R,
right,
we've got to credit Busio a bit for pressing R too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like he's an unsung hero. Even if Kenvi and Jimmy popped the hell off, they looked damn clean in that game. Busio is making sure that Malice couldn't spring back into it.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a game where 100 Thieves, I know after game 1, they played a really aggressive early game draft that did not go well. Credit to them for going back to a similar strat and making it work for game 2. I know that they've got some young players. They're still trying to bring this team together. Busio, of course, a later addition as he was still finishing up high school. And this is a team that we do have high expectations for. Like, these are 2 academy teams that we expect to go further into proving grounds, given their experience and given some of the talent they have on their rosters. So I think having 100 Thieves bounce back, I know they've been having a lot of 1-1s. They haven't been playing the cleanest, but taking down a team like C9 that is one of the top teams that we have in Academy, got to be a nice boost for them. And excited to see this team continue to come together and really hope we see more of Jimmy and Kenvi working together, because that game, that mid-jungle 2v2 was brilliant.
And that's the thing. I really do want to applaud Jimmy and how he's grown. We look at the first 2 weeks.
His movement is so good.
It is. But the first 2 weeks he came here in the Academy weren't his hottest. They didn't look that great. A lot of people were questioning whether he deserved to be here in Academy. If you're not a fan of his by the end of this, I don't know what's wrong. He is doing so well as of late. And a lot of the victories, this week, last week too, even in Super Week, he looked really good. How him and Kenvi have been growing together. They're looking really solid.
Yeah, I don't want to see, if I'm playing them, 100 Thieves now, I would be worried about Lee Sin LeBlanc coming out. If they can do that to C9, wondering if they can keep on doing that to other teams, and excited to hear from 100 Thieves Academy, hopefully themselves.
Same here. For now, we're going to toss it a break. We're going to get an interview ready. Make sure you stay tuned. I'm falling. Hey, I gotta say, I'm always on a run. I'm getting closer to the line, and everything's going down. Yeah, everything's going down. And everything's going down. Yeah, everything's going down.
Welcome back, everyone. I am joined by Kenvi from 100 Thieves Academy. I'm oh so excited to get joined by you finally for one of these interviews. I just gotta ask, first and foremost, I need myself a Kenvi check-in. How you doing? How's Academy been for you this year so far? And how you feeling about the games today?
Um, games like kind of like exciting for today because like I feel like C9 is like has been winning a lot and like they need to we need to beat them. They need to lose. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
I love it, man. Gotta make them lose a couple. But for you, personally, as a player, how has this year for Academy been for you? At least in terms of your performances.
Um, my some of my performance are like I mostly like limit tests a lot because like you just like feel like you're bored, but yeah, like limit test like, should be like winning every game for sure.
Hey, you need to stretch those legs a little bit, though. I gotta say. I will say though, for you into this year and especially into this game here, new competition creeping up here. Malice, a new entrance to Academy. What was it like for you going against Malice today?
Um, pretty pretty not his fighting is predictable, so you know like what he's gonna do. Pretty easy.
Okay, I want to dive into that a little bit more then, because he does bring a little bit different of a style to the table. But as you said, it's a little bit more forefront. You know he's going to be farming it up. So did you guys approach this series a little bit differently, knowing that that was going to be the case?
Um um sorry again, that's the question.
Did you approach today a little bit differently since you knew you were going to be facing Malice with his kind of unique style?
Um it's I didn't do anything, like it's just like C9A as usual. I play. I don't like change any styles.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Hey, the confidence suits you well, Kenvi. I'm gonna let you go here shortly. I just want to ask you a quick question. What is your favorite animal? Because I'm gonna be putting a tier list together by the end of the split.
Um Probably dog.
Dog. Oh, we got a dog person. All right, finally, the cat meta is over with. Kenvi, do you have any shout outs? Do you have anybody you want to talk about here before we let you go?
Um Thanks to like my teammates and all the 100 thieves and like my friends. Yeah, that's all, and fans. If
Gotta give the fans shout out there. Well, Kenvi, it was an absolute pleasure to get to talk to you here, and thank you for stopping in with me. And enjoy the rest of your day.